Imagine standing in a field of cracked dirt. You've planted your crops, but for weeks the sky has been a solid, cloudless blue. Your entire community depends on this harvest. If the rain doesn't come soon, the crops will wither and everyone will go hungry. What do? How do you manage a natural world that seems completely out of your control? Thousands of years before meteorology or irrigation, humans had to invent elaborate systems of thought to cope with nature's indifference. They had to find a way to make it rain. In 1890, a Scottish anthropologist named James George Fraser published a massive comparative study called The Golden Bough. The book scandalized Victorian Britain by suggesting that sacred rituals from all over the world were simply early attempts at problem-solving. Fraser proposed that human understanding of the universe moves through three distinct chronological stages. He treated our ancestors as early engineers, attempting to reverse engineer their environment using the best logic they had at the time. To understand these people, we have to look at their rituals as practical, logical efforts to solve the immediate problem of survival. Fraser called the first stage magic. This was the belief that humans could directly force nature to act through spells or physical mimicry. Let's go back to our ancient farmer. To get rain, they might pour a cup of water directly onto the parched ground. This relied on a mechanical theory of the world. If you imitate a rainstorm on a small scale, the sky will be compelled to copy the action on a large one. These imitation tactics formed the basis of ancient fertility cults and seasonal rituals across the globe, including the priest-kings of Lake Nemi in Italy. Magic was humanity's first attempt at a cause-and-effect tool. But eventually, people noticed that the sky remained clear no matter how much water they poured on the ground. This repeated failure forced a change in perspective. The mechanical tricks of magic weren't bringing the clouds, yet the communities still needed to eat. If humans couldn't control the weather directly, they reasoned that a much more powerful, invisible person must be in charge of it instead. This leads to the second stage, religion. Humanity abandons the idea of forcing nature and begins asking it for favors. Instead of imitating rain, communities offer gifts, prayers, and sacrifices to appease a rain god or a sacred king, hoping to earn a harvest through devotion. The human mind had reimagined the universe as a vast royal court, where survival depended on the whims and favors of powerful rulers. Over centuries, another pattern emerges. People realize that the gods are as unpredictable as the magic that came before them. Prayers go unanswered while the drought continues. This led to a shift toward careful observation. Humans began to track repeating physical patterns, the way the wind shifts or how the moon changes before a storm arrives. This represents Fraser's final stage, science. It is the systematic measuring and testing of natural cycles to understand how they actually function. By isolating the physical properties of the earth, like heat turning water into vapor, people could predict rain by looking at the atmosphere. By uncovering these consistent laws of nature, science provided the reliable, predictive power that humanity had been chasing since that first cup of water was poured into the dust. This was the three-step journey: tricking the universe, begging the universe, and finally understanding how the universe actually works. While modern scholars debate Fraser's rigid timeline, his theory offered a new way to look at human history. The Golden Bough positioned these early cultures as rational thinkers who simply lacked the tools of modern observation, giving their struggle for survival a new kind of dignity. Today, you can pull a smartphone from your pocket and get an instant forecast for the entire week, but that convenience is built on a very old foundation. Every modern weather forecast is the end result of thousands of years of ancient spells, rain dances, and answered prayers.